everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. Aren't these pretty? These are Christmas pillowcases, and this one here on top is only about a 10-minute project. It is really easy and is only about a yard of fabric. There's one down here with a pretty little border on it. Takes just a little bit more time. Okay, let's get started. The amount of fabric you'll need per pillow depends on the size of your pillow. If you're not sure how big your pillows are, then by all means measure the length is what you really need to do, the longest part. So if you have a standard twin or queen, you need just 1 yard of fabric. I recommend quilting fabric. You can get quilting fabric that's 42 inches up to 44 inches wide. It doesn't matter which one. For a king size pillow, you need about 1 1/4 yards of fabric. And when you cut them, I'll demonstrate how to cut in a moment. For your standard twin and queen, you'll need to make it 36 inches wide. And for the king, 45 inches wide. When you buy your fabric, it's folded with the selvage edges together, and here is your fold. Now, when they cut your fabric, it may not be exactly straight and exactly 36 inches or 45 inches, depending on the size of your pillow. So you need, when you get it home, measure it. Remember, for that standard queen size, you need to cut it 36 inches wide. So straighten this edge, go over 36 inches and cut. Same thing for the king. You want to measure across 45 inches and make sure your edges are straight. Here's my folded edge, my 2 raw edges out here, and then my selvage edges here. So you want to open it up like this. So now I've turned my fabric. Now each of my selvage edges to my left and right, so they're way out here. And down here is one of the raw edges. So you're going to be folding and pressing your edges. Remember, you're doing this next step on the raw edge. So fold it over a 1/2 inch and press it all the way across. Then you're going to fold it again like this over 4 inches and press it all the way across. Now you're going to unfold the end where you have it pressed. Then you're going to bring your selvage edges back together again. And then I would place pins across here. I'm going to explain 2 different ways of sewing this. If you have a serger, great. This is going to be really quick. If you have your serger, you're going to serge all the way around and down this way to the folded edge. So you've only got a seam on 2 edges. If you do not have a serger, you need to trim your selvage edges off and then pin it. Then stitch a 1/4 inch seam all the way around the 2 edges. And then do some sort of an overcast stitch over your raw edges. Maybe you have a zigzag stitch you can use or another overcast stitch. I'm going to use my serger. It only takes a couple of minutes to do it. I've just finished using the serger so you can see what my seam looks like after it's done. What's really nice about a serger is that it cuts and binds your edges all at the same time. If you used a standard sewing machine, you're going to have a straight stitch line, and then whatever overcast stitch you chose will be over your raw edges. Now take your end where you've done all the pressing and folding. So now you want to fold it back over so that narrow edge that was folded is going to be against the back side of your fabric. And then place pins all along the edge to hold it in place. After you've done pinning, then you want to stitch close to this edge all the way around. Now this is what it looks like when this basic one is all done. Now if you're worried it's not going to fit your pillow, always measure your pillow before you get started. This is not a super snug fit. If you're worried about it being too tight or not big enough or you want to make it smaller, you can always take your seams in. But this should fit any standard queen size or twin size bed pillow. Also, if I forgot to mention earlier, which I think I did, make sure you wash all your fabrics before you even get started, and do a zigzag stitch on your raw edges before you do any kind of cutting or stitching and throwing it in the machine. Now I'm going to show you how to put a simple border on a pillowcase. Now for your standard twin or queen size pillow, you're only going to need 7/8 of a yard of the base for the basic part of the pillow. And you're going to cut it 28 inches wide this time. For the king, you'll need 1 yard, and you're going to cut that 36 inches. For the border, for fabric A, which is the largest piece of fabric, you'll need 1/4 of a yard, and you're going to cut it 7 1/4 inches wide. For the smaller piece of fabric, fabric B, you'll need 1/8 of a yard and cut it 2 1/4 inches wide. Take your border fabric, and here's the narrower strip, the 2 1/4 inch wide. Here's the wider strip. You want to stitch these two pieces of fabric together. Then you're going to attach it to the main fabric of the pillow and stitch the red to this fabric here, stitching a 1/4 inch seam. I recommend you press this first seam open, and then your second seam, press it towards the border. Now fold this edge over, just like you did on the first demonstration, a 1/2 inch. Fold this again 4 inches, and it should come right up here to your stitch line, and press it across all the way. If you are using a standard sewing machine, remember you need to cut those selvage edges off. Then go ahead and stitch it like you did on the first demonstration, or if you have a serger, then just go ahead and serge your 2 edges. And then once you've got that all done, then you're going to go ahead, fold this edge over, and then you're going to stitch it down right up along the top edge of the red band here. And I just love how these turned out. This basic one right here without the border is only about a 10-minute project. If you're a beginner, it might be a 20-minute project, and this one takes about 10 minutes longer. These make great gifts. You can make them for any season, any time of the year. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you learned something new, and I really hope you try this project. Now don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. And don't forget to take a moment to look at those links below your YouTube screen in the description section. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl. This is Manny. See you next time.